So as you all know, this will be the workshop for CCIE Security version 6.1. So basically, this would be CCNP to CCI, not just CCI alone. And we would be going through different modules of security as per this batch. So we start with SCORE, SVPN, Cisco ISE, ESA, WSA, and finally the CCI Security Bootcamp. All right, so I'll allow you guys to give me some background information about yourself, but after a certain time. First, let me just go ahead and show you the curriculum so that you can then give me a bit of your background as well. So as you can see here, this is focused on CCNP to CCI Security version 6.1, the latest curriculum. We would be covering these many modules.
Sorry to interrupt you. Are you okay? All right.
All good?
Yeah, all good.
Okay. So these are the modules: SCORE, SVPN, ASA, Cisco FTD, Firepower, Cisco ISE, ESA, WSA, Umbrella, and CCI Security Bootcamp. Okay. Today in this demo class, I'll be going through the CCI Security program structure. Plus, we will be also doing a lab over on the lab to configure the MAB on Cisco ISE. Have you guys heard about Cisco ISE? How many of
Yes.
you have heard about Cisco ISE?
I heard about, but I never worked that.
Okay. How many of you are from the security background or enterprise background?
Hi Sagar, I am from security background, network security.
Okay. How about others? Anyone from basic security is also okay here in this case. Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you guys comfortable with the CCNA, CCNP enterprise? Enterprise in the sense routing switching?
Hi, sir. Yes, we know about it and we are working on it.
Okay. So if you are aware with routing switching or enterprise, then this course you can easily adopt it. This course is not rocket science. So it's you should have the basic fundamental of routing switching, and then additionally in the during the class we will be going through the security modules from basic. Okay. But someone who is a fresher, total fresher, who never did CCNA or never into networking job, then for them this course would not be easy to digest. Okay. At least you have minimum like 1+ years of experience in the networking field, or else if you have already completed CCNA routing switching, or you have worked on CCNP level, then this course security module you can easily crack it. Okay, so it's not a tough course, but you should have a basic networking knowledge. So we will see two things today. One is the roadmap, how the course modules are pipelined, and then I'll take you to the lab structure to show you some feel of a security module, how the security module looked like, how the dashboard of Cisco ISE looks like, how the labs we do in the classes. So all those things I'll be showing you today. Okay. Yeah, bit about myself. As you all know, my name is Sagar Dhawan, and I'll be the complete trainer for this batch. I have 14+ years of experience, and I teach CCI Enterprise, CCI Security, Python Network Automation, Firewall Mastery, DNAC, SD-WAN. So these are my courses that I deliver as a full-time trainer plus corporate training. This is the course module. S-Core is the first paper, which is also the written paper, like how in a routing switching or enterprise, you have N-Core, the mandatory written paper. Similar way, in the security track, you have something called S-Core. This is the exam code. And if someone is following the security module, then you know that these are all the concentration paper from the CCNP security. Cisco ISE, Cisco ISE, FTD, next gen firewalls, Cisco SVPN, ESA, WSA, and then finally we will go to the CCIE Security Bootcamp, where we would do some scenario-based ticketing, troubleshooting, and configuration point. So this will be from basic to advanced level course. Not that directly we will jump into something advanced, which you may not get it or you might find it difficult. So it is going to be a starting level from the basic to advanced level itself. So total duration is close to 5 to 6 months, as each module will take a month or a more. So let's say if I'm taking up 1.5 month here for the completion, then the next 1 month over here, and so on. So it might take at least 6 months to complete this whole course. This is a weekend program. We will connect over on Zoom meeting every Saturday, Sunday, and at the same time, that is 9 a.m. in India to, let's say, 11 a.m. in India. So this will be the duration, 2 to 3 hours, or let's say within 2 hours is the total duration of each session. This will easily go for 5 to 6 months because of number of modules that you have in the CCNP to CCI security. Someone who just wants CCNP, you can opt for that. Someone who wants CCI, integrated CCNP to CCI, then you can opt the second package as well. So let me take you to the next slide. This is a overview of one of our lab. I say one of our lab because we would be giving almost 5 to 7 such labs respective to each module. So this is for S-Core, the first module. Now, do you know the format of CCI or any exam, or let's say CCNP or CCI? What is the format of the exam? So anyone know like what is the format?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Okay. Are you from the networking background? Are you from the networking background? Okay. Anyway, so as you all know, do you know about this terminologies, at least CCNA, CCNP, CCI? How many of you are CCNA, CCNP at least here?
I have done CCNP and I have done CCI written also, but that's all. Last I did was in 2016. So since then,
Okay.
it's been like almost 9 years.
Okay. So how many of you are CCNA, CCNP? I mean,
I'm
yeah.
I'm CCNA and now I'm studying on about the CCNP currently.
Okay.
I also completed my CCNB, but
Okay.
it is in routing and switching.
Okay. No issues. No. How about others? I can see many folks here joined. So how about others? Are you guys familiar with CCNA, CCNP? because I don't want to make this demo a very a difficult one. If the level is less, then I can reduce my level too. So if I get the exact picture of the participant, then I can go with that kind of level.
CCIE written is there.
Okay. How about others? You can use chat if in case you don't want to unmute. Just because I want to understand what is the level of the participant. If most of you guys are from the CCNA, CCNP, then I'll stick with that level itself. So how about others? Are you guys familiar with CCNA, CCNP? Yes, no?
I'm familiar with the CCNA, not the CCNP.
Okay.
I am from network and security background. Now I am in office, so I can't
Okay.
speak.
Yeah, those guys who are traveling in the office can make use of chat.
Yeah,
Rest,
yeah.
okay.
I'm in
Rest,
activity, so I'm good to hear.
okay. And rest who are comfortable can unmute because I don't want to disturb your workflow. So how about others? Do you understand CCNA, CCNP at least?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if you understand CCNA, CCNP level, then I can go up to the CCI level as well, because those who completed CCNA, CCNP will be now looking for CCI level of skill set. So as of now, you know that CCNA, there is only one module, which is 200301. Then comes the CCNP tracks. Routing switching is renamed as enterprise. So along with enterprise, you have security, DC, SP, and all these rest of the CCNP module. Right now, we are talking about security module of it. So this module will have two papers. One is the mandatory written paper and some of the concentration paper. The next comes the CCI level, expert level, where there are two papers. One is the written paper of CCNP that you must have cleared, and then the 8 hours of lab. Now, CCI is not mandatory. If you want, you can pursue CCI, or at least for the knowledge or the upskillment, you can go with the CCI course. Okay, not everyone looks for the rank. And also, you know how much effort and time you need it. You need it for CCI, and how much money that is needed to write the CCI paper, right? So it is all up to your personal requirement. You need CCI rank or not, but most of the people consider CCI from the knowledge perspective. So because you are going to learn in depth different technologies in the CCI security. So if you know, in the Middle East and in the US Western, the modules like Cisco ISE, FTD, Firepower, right? Then Cisco Umbrella, email security appliance, web security appliance, VPNs. These are in very high demand. Whereas in routing, switching, or enterprise, what do you normally do? You just do the routing switching, OSPF, BGP, multicast, QoS, which has become very common these days. Because even in the CCN, a lot of basic theoretical topic of these topics are covered, right? So I can say that 80% in the networking side would be from this. Remaining might be 10% would be from here. Some 10% might go to data center, some 5% might go to service provider. So the demand for security is increasing. Many enterprise now needs security engineers who can deploy ISE, troubleshoot, someone who can do the policy, troubleshoot on the FTD, right? So the network security portfolio is increasing day by day. There is a good demand for security portfolios now. Recent times, in the past time, the security modules used to be consist of mostly ASA or the ACS server for AAA. But now both are end of life. Now the new modules that is launched is FTD, FMC. Then you have Cisco ISE, Identity Service, which is not just AAA. AAA is one part of it. It will handle your BYOD. It will handle your guest profile. It will handle your radius TACACS, dot 1x, MAB. So a lot of things this ISE itself can handle. Same goes with SVPN module. At least 10 to 15 different flavors of VPN you will be learning under the SVPN book. Then you have ESA, WSA, how you secure your web and email. So all comprising, we call it as CCIE Security. Currently version 6.1 is running. So we are going to discuss about that paper as well as CCNP level. So you can see this, the hardware that we need for the CCNP CCI. So we need to have Cisco ISE, WSA, email security appliance, FTD appliance, IPS, threat defense, ASA virtual appliance, CSR 1000V, Stealth Watch, AMP, anti-malware protection, Fire AMP, wireless, DNAC, and switches. So these are the hardware list that you will need in your security modules. Okay, a huge list of the items. And these are physical equipments that comprises of ASA and few switches, because for some labs we need the physical gears. And these are the test machines. So these are all virtually deployed. We will give you the ready-made lab file as well. So once you enroll to the program, we will give the lab file, which will consist of all these images. Okay, going to the topic now. So as you know that we are going to cover CCNP, CCIE security. One major module here is Cisco ISE. So can someone tell me, or anyone, I'm not pointing, can someone tell me like what is Cisco ISE and what it does? Can be a simple answer, right or wrong, that doesn't matter.
It can
It's a device.
it can create a policy based on the profile, and you can like allow the traffic or deny.
Okay.
You, you do the guest authentication, your
Mm-hmm.
like wired or wireless authentications,
Okay.
triple A authentications, radius TACACS,
Okay.
and cap for a it is work for a capital portal also for a provider authentication.
Okay. How about others? What do you feel about ICE?
Sir,
Basically,
as
it's the advanced version of NAC device plus the TACACS joint, combined together. ICE itself has those basically four modules inside. The PAN, PSN, and the PX grid, MNT and PX grid.
Okay.
So, as an enterprise, we use it for dip posturing, profiling endpoints, the CACS services, AAA, as mentioned by the other fellow,
Mhm.
and more services like platform exchange and uh, ensuring that your devices are compliant. If they are not compliant, you can put them into any of the remediation VLAN or something like a temporary VLAN where you are put and forced to get the updates from the antivirus server, forced to get the policies from the other any kind of security systems. If you are running any hosts in IPS and all, I mean, so that uh,
Mhm.
you are properly updated and you do not violate any cybersecurity policies.
Okay. Anyone else who wants to add a point?
sir, as
Mhm.
the name by itself tells us, no, that it's an identity service engine. So
Mhm.
authorization, authentication, accounting. These are three primary features that we
Okay.
start from, even from CCIE, and then it
Okay.
ends on CCIE also. So, and this is
Okay.
I think so in every network, this is the used case for everyone.
Yes. Okay. Fine. So let us check. So first use case is NAC, that is Network Access Control. That means, let's say you have some users over on wired or let's say wireless. They're trying to connect your network, right? So where would you add the policy? Whom to allow, whom not to allow, which user to allow, which user to get what type of access, which user to get what type of VLAN. So all that can be configured on Cisco ISE. So let's say if I have a user who logins to be a part of sales team, right? And I have configured that for sales user, I would be assigning VLAN 201. So all that configuration I'll be pushing out to this person. And he will be now part of that sales VLAN. So I don't have to do any static VLAN configuration on the back end of the switch. Because if I do that, only that particular person will be hard binded to that particular machine. How if I want to keep a dynamic option? Anyone come, take the cable, plug it, they get the dynamic VLAN from the server. So that can be achievable from Cisco ISE. So Cisco ISE not only secure your users and make them connect to the network, it also will help you with .1x authentication for wired and wireless, and also it helps Radius, TACACS, EAP authentication, and MAB authentication. So today we will be seeing a lab for this topic and also this topic. So just be with me for some more time. So these are the network access control. Any protocol that the user comes in, the Cisco ISE is present to handle that request. Second thing is the role-based access. Role-based access in the sense, as I told you, if a salesperson called Bob is joining, so what is the level of access he should have? Can he be the root 15 user? That means super admin user, or he is a level 7 where you are allowing only certain features to that. So that's called a role-based access. Okay. So let's say for an example, IT admin logs in. He will get the full access to that dashboard. Let's say you have an auditor or a guest who is performing the audit report. So why do you have to give them full access? You can only give them a basic internet access or few limited access. Similar way, IoT devices, you can restrict certain access towards the internet so that no unauthorized access goes to the IoT devices. So this is also being configured under the policy set of Cisco ISE to achieve role-based access control. Then we have guest management. You might see that you have a vendor coming from a product vendors, or you have a guest coming from some technical team. They ask you for internet. So which internet do you give it? And is it feasible that you have daily basis 20-30 vendors visiting? They come to IT department. You do it manually. That is not possible, right? So with the help of Cisco ISE, I can set up a different SSID called as guest profile. And within this, there are multiple options in Cisco ISE. I can have a one-time OTP based. I can have a login page. I can have a manual based. So different type of pages I can configure. So if a guest comes in, he will log into the SSID. He will get the one-time password where he has to put his, let's say, phone number, and he receive a OTP on his mobile. So if that phone number is registered with us, then he will receive the OTP, or else he will be getting denied it. Or we can do a manual login process also. If I get his email ID and the MAC address, I can give him some access for let's say 10 hours. So once he's out after 10 hours, he will not get the access to the guest. And not only that, you can also do the policy push. uh, you can manage your access point. You can see the guest activities. You can restrict some of the web pages. If you don't want them to have all the access to internet, you can restrict that. So that can also be applied directly on the Cisco ISE configuration. Then we have BYOD. BYOD is in the sense, let's say an employee comes with his own mobile phone, or let's say his own laptop. He is not a guest. He's not a guest. Basically, he is carrying his mobile always whenever he's in the work premise. So you don't want to classify this as a guest, because in the guest, what happens? You restrict all the networks. You will restrict a lot of features in the guest. But in the case of BYOD, you can set up a different policies. You can have a different type of restrictions and access on the BYOD, right? So all the personal devices that gets onboarded needs to be checked as well. Because when you're carrying your personal laptop, what if your laptop is infected with a malicious code, right? If your laptop is infected with malicious code, there is a chance that your network will get infected too. So Cisco ISE will take care of it, because Cisco ISE has something called posture, a feature called posture, where it will scan the end devices and let the uh, administrator of ISE know that this particular BYOD laptop is being infected. It is having some trajectory profiles. So either we can quarantine, or we can also restrict this user. So the administrator can set it manually or automated process, where if there is a laptop carrying malicious code, to be restricted connecting to the network. Right? So this much level of control you have in the Cisco ISE under the BYOD. Endpoint compliance and posture assessment. This is the same topic which I discussed just few in the last slide. So let's say endpoint. Endpoint could be anyone. It could be guest, it could be BYOD, and it could be your own enterprise laptop. Because since you do internet browsing on your corporate provided laptop, there is chances that the malicious code or virus is on any of this on this hardwares. So Cisco ISE has a feature called posture, which will do the scan of all these machines. It will check which operating system are you running. It will check if your antivirus is running on the latest database or not. It will check if you have any malicious application which is not to be installed as per the standard. It will do a proper scan. If it find your endpoint is not compliance, you will not get through the connectivity. You are restricted now. Okay, your compliance must be 100% good. If you deviate from this, your laptop will not get connected to the network, because it's going to check everything. Sometimes what happen, you don't update your antivirus for a very longer time. You delay it, saying that I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it after 2 days. But that is not good, right? As per the standard, you need a antivirus which should be at least 24 to 48 hours before updated. So I can put that policy. I can say that if a end machine is having a antivirus older than a week, don't let him, but instead redirect him to a page where he can update it instantly, and then he can connect it. So either I can quarantine, either I can ask him, forward him to the needful page, or I can restrict him immediately. No, you cannot be allowed because of this violation. So that comes under posture. Again, something which is configured on Cisco ISE. Network segmentation and micro segmentation. So here what we do is we have a concept of dynamic VLAN. As I was giving you one example, let's say this is a flow, right? In a traditional networking, what happens? I have the workstations. I would have done a static configurations here. I would say that this is a sales guy, so he will be on VLAN 10. This is a marketing guy, he will be on the VLAN 20. Let's say similar way, I do a VLAN 30, 40, and 10. Now, what I'm basically enforcing is I'm enforcing a concept where users will be always binded to sit only on this desk respectively. If a user has to operate from this machine, because let's say the other machines are occupied, right? Now he can't walk into the admin team to say that change the VLAN from 10 to 50. That is not possible in the office, right? That you just walk into IT and ask, because might be after 1 or 2 hours when you log out, that has to be re-given to another person, another team. So this is a problem with the traditional workplace. You need a flexibility. You need a dynamic VLAN. So let's say I will sit here. I'll sit here. I'll put my username as Sagar. It will go to Cisco ISE. Cisco ISE has a backend integration with AD server, Active Directory server. It will first see where Sagar belongs to. Okay, Sagar belongs to network team. Which VLAN is configured for network access? Let's say VLAN 150. What is the role of Sagar? Whether he has a level 15 authorization on all the networking device, all the things will be getting on my machine. So this Cisco ISE will be taking care of all that request. So that is called segmentation and micro segmentation. Enforce dynamic VLAN based on the identity and the posture, and the different network profile called TrustSec for the micro segmentation, and zero trust architecture by controlling lateral movement inside the network. Okay, keeping all the things dynamic in nature rather than having a static configuration. You can also have something called dynamic ACLs. So let's say Sagar is allowed for which server and which server he is not allowed to. In the same way, my own team might have access to different server, which I may not have it. Why? Because based on the identity, this person has so and so access and so level of access, whereas another person has so and so access and so thing. So everything we configure on the Cisco ISE. Okay, under dynamic VLAN, dynamic ACLs. Going to the next use case, integration. Because you know that no product works standalone. You need to have a feasibility to integrate with some other modules, other security modules or other portfolio modules. So Cisco ISE can be integrated with major products. You can integrate it with ASA/FTD. You can have with the DNAC. So you know the DNAC, right? It's a uh, solution, SDN solution for SD access, DNAC. And you do have one lab for DNAC as well in the CCIE Security, though it is majorly used in the enterprise topic, but you still have a lab in the CCIE Security as well. Stealth Watch for network visibility. You can integrate all the multi-vendors as well. That is a good news. Though being Cisco ISE, a Cisco portfolio, you can still integrate Palo Alto, FortiGate, F5 for the radius and the TACACS. Though TACACS will not work here, as you know, TACACS is a Cisco proprietary. So you can integrate ISE over on radius protocol for the device management with PA, FortiGate, F5, Aruba, right? So all the multi-vendor, plus you can integrate with DNAC, ASA, FTD, right? A huge integration is supported in the case of Cisco ISE. Okay, and the next use case is TACACS or radius, which we use for the AAA concept, authentication, authorization, accounting for the network device administration, visibility and reporting. A good number of logs you can see over in the Cisco ISE. Who has logged in? What is the MAC address? Which policy was taken up to get authenticated? What is the reason for the uh, denial of that user? A huge dashboard under version 3.x. Okay, a huge reporting and the configurations thing that we can see under the version 3.x. So now we will go to the lab demonstration. We are going to check a scenario called MAB authentication. Let me give you a background of this. You always know that in a network, when I log into my system, I usually put username and password, right? But that is not the safest method. If my username and password is revealed, I can use it from my mobile. I can use it from my personal laptop. There is chances that the username password is being revealed, or you have written it on a notepad. Someone else can also log in on your basis from his machine, right? He just put the domain name, put the username and password. He will be able to log in from his machine. So that is what we do in the protection is we make use of .1x and MAP in addition to your username password, because your just a username password is not sufficient in the networking. It's very easy for anyone to log in via your username, like man in middle attacks, right? Anyone can log in from having your username and password. That's why we secure the port with the help of .1x or MAP. Now, .1x is supported in a large scale. Most of the Windows operating systems are supporting .1x, right? So let's say if you are having 500 users, you want to activate .1x, you can do that very easily. So as a user, he will type his username and password. It will go to ISE. ISE will contact AD. Then ISE will check which .1x policy is being applied, and if it is to be allowed, then it will allow it. Otherwise, it will give you a decline message saying that the .1 policy says rejection or .1 policy is not found. So that interface, that switch interface can go down as well. Now, what happens with some scenario is if the end machine is not .1x supported, then you can go with the MAC address based authentication. Okay, so MAC authentication bypass. So the device which don't support .1x, then MAB is the alternative solution. There is another solution called web authentication, where you go to the browser and input the credentials, right? So there are three solutions. One is .1x, MAB, and web authentication. So we are going to check .1x and MAB now, how this is configured and how the test validation is done, because this both are asked in the CCIE exams. .1x configuration and MAB configuration. Yeah, any question, Nitin?
You have mentioned like switch mode goes down, so it is make a error disable mode or it is just only the down client
It,
protocol.
it will be shut down, error disabled mode, restriction as per what port security we are going to set on that interface. So there are different violation we can set it. We can shut down, we can put it in error disabled mode.
And it is defined on the ISE only, right?
On the switch, we will configure that portion. So on my switch side, on the interface, I will put my port security saying that if I get a such request, then I can either shut down or error disabled. Okay.
Hello, Saga.
Yeah,
If
go ahead.
the port is in error disable mode, we need to be up on the manually if we do not do on the ICE level.
See, if it is error disabled, there are two ways. You are asking for recovery.
Yes, recovery. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do the automatic recovery also on the switch side, or you can do the manual recovery as well by
Yeah.
port.
Yeah, I know, but can we done on can we do through the ICE?
Yeah, you can do with the eyes also.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is the lab configuring MAP on Cisco ISE for some window user as a test PC machine. Okay. So these are just the theoretical materials, like what is the why MAB is needed. So basically MAB is needed when your end machine don't support .1x. Okay, is not possible. Some examples of such devices are like printers, scanners, VoIP phones, any medical industrial equipments, building management system, smart TVs, barcode scanners, IoT devices. So these are such devices which don't support 1x. So you have to go with the MAC authentications only. And that term we call as MAB. MAC Authentication Bypass. That means you are going to bypass the security with the MAC authentication. So let's say if a PC is trying to connect the network with the help of username and password, but you have also enforced to send his MAC address. So when the MAC address is being trusted in the white list of Cisco ISE, then only this guy will get authenticated. Okay. So this is like a, add-on security that you are doing it. Otherwise, username passwords are very easily crackable in the networking side. Anyone can get your username password, can log in from any machine and can do any attacks or can shut down the server. But with a MAC address, he can't do that. So a lot of securities you can impose in the Cisco ISE. As of now, we will check a simple lab of MAB and .1x. And you know why .1x? .1x is your network access control, port-based network access control. Okay, if a switch port receives more than a 4 MAC address on a switch port, you can put a restriction mode. You can violate that. That's a violation, right? So what happens without this or MAB in the network? What is the challenge that you might face if you don't have a .1x or MAB type of security measures in your network? Anyone can plug into the switch port, correct? You are not in front of these switches or routers. Anyone can plug his machine and access the network. Hackers can use the stolen username and password on any device. No control over what devices are on the network. You never know which type of devices are in your network. No dynamic VLANs or security enforcement. So these are the problems if you don't use it. And if you use it, you can prevent the unauthorized access. You can have a much better authentication just other than username password. You can have dynamic access controls, the dynamic ACLs. You can protect against the ROG device, man-in-middle attacks. It works both on wired and wireless, encryption and secure authentication. So these are the plus point. These are the negative points of not having .1x. Nowadays, most of the networking side, they are making use of the port security on the switch side because they never know who is connected, what is happening behind the scene. Okay, so let me go to the lab. Let me also show how the labs work here. Just a second. I'm just logging into the box. Since you're not much familiar with Cisco ISE, I would be showcasing it from a basic level. So this is how the labs look like. This is the lab which we give for the Cisco ISE module. Let me just explain you what are the components kept here. This is my management PC where I would be accessing the graphical page of Cisco ISE. These I have kept because, as I told you, Cisco ISE will support multi-vendor integrations. So during our class, we will see the multi-vendor integration on Cisco ISE. This is the most important component. It's the AD server. I have installed NTP, Network Time Protocol. I have installed certificate because this is going to responsible for SSL certificates or authentication for the other nodes. I've also created users, some local users. You know what is the purpose of Active Directory in the network, right? All your users are created on the Active Directory, and that Active Directory is integrated with Cisco ISE. So what happens is, now these are the user. These are the endpoint or user. We call it as endpoint also. Or you can simply think about user. So when a user is trying to access any of the network devices, just imagine a router. So when he's trying to do SSH to this particular router, like this, behind the scene, what will happen is router will send that package to Cisco ISE to see that whether this is a known person or which team he belongs to or what is his role. Now Cisco ISE will send that message to server, making sure his username and password is good or not. So once his username and password is good, then it will see what policy and what authentication profiles that we have configured here, what type of roles we have assigned, what type of dynamic VLAN or dynamic ACLs are configured. So all that ICE is been configured with, and it will send that to this user, and then that will get downloaded on his local machine, and then onwards that access will remain to this point itself, the machine and that PC or this particular router. Later, let's say he has logged out, he has gone out, and next morning he comes back and re-log in. The same connectivity. He will first do the SSH. That message will be taken to Cisco ISE. Cisco ISE will send to the AD server. AD server will confirm username and password is good or bad. Then it will see which is the policy applied for that, what is the dynamic ACL, dynamic VLAN, and then it will inform this user. And then user is now directly connected with this router. Okay, so in a large scale production, you might be doing n number of SSH to the boxes, but you don't never know what is happening behind the scene because you may not be from the security domain. There is a different administrator who is taking care of Cisco ISE. There is a server team who is making user configuration. But in the lab, what happens? I don't have any other team. I have to do all the work. I have to create users. I myself have to be the ISE administrator. I have to integrate these devices on ISE. I will be the network engineer. I'll do L2, L3, all the things in the lab is done by us, right? So it's a good course where you will learn end to end, L2, L3, network security profiles configuration, as well as AD server configuration, because nowadays most of the job roles needs a unified roles. They are expecting the person is good with systems, server side, virtualization side, networking side, security side, right? So in the lab, what happens is you do it, the configuration your side, because we are going to give you a lab which is running on the blank configuration. Okay, nothing would be configured apart from having the nodes like this. You should spin up the lab. You should go step by step. Now, if I start from the step number 1, then this is the first step. That is my Cisco, sorry, not Cisco, a Windows server. So let me show you how a Windows server look like. Get into the box. So when you spin that up, single click will bring this up. Get into the device. Let me log into the server first. Yeah. So this configuration for server itself will take us at least 10 hours because you have to install each and everything on this. So you can see here, these are something which we install on the initial few classes where we have active domain, we have the certificate server, we have the DNS, we will have the NTP configurations. We are going to have the users configuration. You can see here, I have already configured some test users. See, like this. So I have created a user from the sales team, I have from a marketing team, and from the finance team. So you can also create your own users like this. So there is an option called user. You can say that test user one. Okay, what do you want to have is login username. Next, what password you want to give it? Let's say test 123, and then you can select the different options here. User must change the password at the next level. User cannot change the password. Okay, password never expires. Or you have received a request that this user has resigned. So usually they will go and do the account disabled. Okay, and sometimes what happen, the user might not logged in for 15 days. The account can be disabled and can be reactivated by just unticking this option. So these are done usually by the system team. If you have any system team in your production. Okay, so it says that password does not meet the standardization. Let me put something difficult. Test 123 at the rate. See. Now this user is created. Now in the AD, I have an option to map him to a group because the groups can be as per my department, sales team, marketing team, network team, server team. So how do I add him to a group? Add a group. Let's say if I have a marketing group already created, then I can assign him directly. Say for example, add a group. You can check the different options here. Let's say marketing, say marketing groups. If you had sales team, you can see if he's from the sales team. So the group has to be created also from your side. You can go to new and you can create any number of group, and then you have to assign that test user to that particular group. So in my case, let's say I assign him to sales group and click on OK. Job successful, done. Now this is how the AD servers are being configured with the different roles and different packages. So I'm also treating this server for my DNS, domain name server. So whatever network components that I have, I can reach it with the help of their host name as well, because I've added their information here. So you can see that all the server information I have added here as a DNS server. So this is a very important node here on my lab. It has to be kept always on. And then I go to my Cisco ISE. So first I go to Cisco ISE. I should integrate my Windows server, because later when a user is entering some username or something and trying to get authenticated, my Cisco ISE should know, right, where is the Win server, to whom should I send the Win server. Because if you don't do the integration between these two, then how on the day of authentication, how is ISE server going to even send to the server if it doesn't know? So that has to be done. So how do we do that? You can access the graphical interface from the management PC. So this is a ISE server. So first I'll go to integration part of AD server, go to administration. There is an option called external identity services. Under the Active Directory, you are supposed to add your AD. So if in case you're adding a new one, you will click on add, you will put your AD server, you will put the domain server that you configured here, right? Because you have configured your domain server srv.networkjourney.com. The same thing you will input here srv.networkjourney.com and then click on submit and integrate. So in my case, I've already added my Win server, which is located at server.networkjourney.com. And this is located at this is the IP. Okay, the IP of this machine is 198. So if I do a IP config here, so you can see this is located as of now on this IP 192.168.100.198. Okay, so from my lab topology, this is 198. This is at .01. Okay, in the 192 series itself. They are in a same LAN. In the LAN network itself. We'll come to that in depth. Let us not make this session too lengthy because you guys are from a different background, right? So let us go in a level which everyone can understand. So as of now, I've integrated this Win server. I will check if that whatever users I created is successfully getting logged in or not. There's an option here called test user. So I have a user called sales1 and his password I had defined at test@123. I can do a test directly from my ISE server. See, it says that success. You might see in some network troubleshooting when a person is trying to do the troubleshooting, you always say that the user is not available to test it, but not in the case of ISE. You can test you can test a scenario on behalf of that user by yourself as well. You just have to give the username and password, which you can take it from Active Directory and test before that person walks on the next day. So you don't have to waste his and your time. So this is the way a user can be tested directly from the Cisco ISE before letting him know on the next day to test and let you confirm. So in the test case, you will see that it will give you all the detail which ISE node is getting this access authenticated. What is the result of this user? That means he is good. So now if this user is going to get authenticated from any of the machine, sales1 or the password, it will go to that particular device first. Let's say he's trying to access this or he's trying to log into the box. It could be any scenario. It could be that he is trying to log into this machine or he's already in the machine and he's doing a SSH to the devices. Two different things. So let us consider he's trying to log into the machine. So when he's going to log into the machine, it will go to Cisco ISE. Cisco ISE will send to AD. AD will send yes or no. And Cisco ISE will send all the DACL, DVLAN to the user. So right now what we did before this guy do the testing, we just did a testing behalf of him from ISE itself. And I can see result is success. Now when he comes on the next day, he will try to log in it. But this, since we are going to see the MAB and .1x, I've also prepared this configuration which has to be put up on the switch. Because the switch is very crucial for me. These interface are going to give me more granular control to see which device I have in the network. Okay, which device I have in the network, what if you don't support .1x, then how is the backward compatibility going to happen? As we discussed that there are devices like network scanners, printer, which don't support .1x. They will support MAC address based authentication, right? So all that information you have to define here on the network switch ports of the switch. Let me show you the configuration. It's a simple configuration. See, this is the configuration. Very, very simple configuration. If you try to understand, you are activating the AAA first. You're defining the .1x activation. This is Cisco ISE server. You have to onboard the radius authentication with the help of this key. I'm going to tell you that as well, where this has to be added up on the Cisco ISE. Okay, this is a key important. Then we are creating a group where I'm just defining this radius inside a group, because in a production you might have two or more authentication server. You might have ISE server 1, ISE server 2, ISE server 3. So you need to have a group, and under that group you can keep multiple different servers, so that if ISE server 1 is down, you can have 2 acting as a authentication server, or you can have 3, or you can have 4. Everything goes in the group. Later, you are going to define that server for your .1x for the network authentication and for the default .1x purpose. This is an optional command if in case your radius server, radius server would work on this port number, but you can have a backward compatibility with SNMP as well. Again, it's an optional thing. You can have, you can skip it. Then comes the important part, that is the port security needed for .1x and MAB configuration. So in the interface level, you are going to define, basically these are connected to your end machines, PC1 and PC2. And you never know who is going to log in here. You're not going to define any access port. Do you see any access VLAN I configured here? I have not put any access VLAN. I've not put any access VLAN. I'm not saying that this port will be always to the salesperson, or this person, or this interface will be to the marketing. It can be dynamic, which comes from the ISE itself. So what this interface will consist, it will say that port violation, port security violation, multiple users can connect. There can be PC1. Let's say if this interface is connected to a hub, then you can expect more number of users connected, more number of MAC ID, MAC address being hitting on this interface. If let's say this was connected to access point, okay, if instead of a PC, if this interface gig 3/1 is connected to an access point, so access point will also have multiple users connected to it, right? So I can't go and say that single host. If I put single host, that means only one host can be hosted at this this interface. But I can't expect that in production. In production, that could be a Wi-Fi modem or router which is connected with multiple users, and each users needs to be get binded with this interface. So it is better you have a good view of your network before deciding whether it's a single host or multiple host. So in my case, I'm going to keep it as a host mode, multi-authentication, port control auto. I'm activating MAB because if the device will not support .1x, if the device will not support .1x, then as a backward compatibility, MAB. MAB is nothing but MAC address bypass. If you're good with .1x, your Windows PC, Linux PC, these are all capable of .1x. But what about network scanners or let's say the printers which don't support .1x? So you should keep in the protection both the options, .1x and MABX. And this is a edge port. You know why this is configured? Because I don't want my spanning tree to block the port for 50 seconds. I hope you know how the spanning tree works. from the disable to blocking, learning, listening, forwarding, there is a 50-second delay. I don't want that. So it's a port fast. Within 15 seconds, it will bypass to the forwarding state. And then I have I have another line which says that if both MAB and .1x gets failed later, then just work as a normal VLAN 1 only. Okay, just a VLAN 1 as a backward compatibility. And order of my execution will be always .1x first, and then MAB as the secondary way of authentication, because .1x is most important. Then if .1x is not supported, if my device don't support .1x, then only go with the MAB authentication. So this is what the configuration looks on the interface side. So both the interface, I've done a very similar configuration: mode access, host mode, port control auto, MAB activation, .1x activation, spanning tree port fast. If in case of failure of MAB and .1x, treat it as just a VLAN 1. You can keep any VLAN. You can keep it 999 unused also. And then you have finally the backward compatibility orders. First, go with the .1x. If .1x fails, if the device don't support .1x, then go with the MAP. Okay, very simple configuration. This whole configuration should be copied, pasted on the switch. So how do you paste the configuration? Very simple. If you have the configuration with you, you can just go to the configuration terminal and do a paste to it. Say like this. Make sure your interface IDs are all good, because most of the time people do mistake with the configuration. So the interface configuration 3/1 and 3/0, 3/1 and 3/0. So one is already AD powered under the AD, and the second machine I will be using as a MAB authentication. So this will be getting authenticated with .1x. This will be getting authenticated because of its MAC address whitelisting. I'll tell you the different ways of whitelisting the MAC address, because in your production there can be 500 user. How would you do a manual whitelisting of the all 500 MAC address on a Cisco ISE, right? So I'll show you there are some easy methods to whitelist the MAC address, so that if that MAC address comes next time, it will easily get bypassed and get authenticated and be added in the network. So we did this configuration. We saw the integration of AD to the ISE server. We saw the configuration of Cisco switch, right? Now going to once again Cisco ISE to have the .1x and the MAB profiles created. Okay, so I'll go to .1x. So where's the dashboard? Management PC. I'll go to the work center. Go to the profile policy set, which is under the network access. I think you can see here. This is the option, policy set. So go to policy set and create this authentication and authorization for MAB and .1x. So I go to the authentication policy and I've created this two policy here. So if I get a .1x for all my groups, all group NJ123. So basically this I have defined. Okay, if you want to see what is all group 1, 2, 3, you can check it in the sequence list. That option you will have under administration, identity sequence sources. See, here I have defined it. Basically, any users which is being configured under AD server, or any guest users, or any endpoint, or any sources. Any users from any sources coming through MAB or coming through .1x to be getting authenticated. It is up to you what you want to add. Usually this would be grayed out. You have to select. So you can select that I want AD server only, or internal users only, or I want only the network journey users. I want let's say all the guest users part of that MAP policy. So it is up to you. I have created all and named it as all group NJ123. And the same thing I'm calling it now under the MAB and the .1x rules. So if you see here under the authorization policy, I'm just calling that group now. Any user could be building 1, building 2, building 3, 4, 5. I don't want to keep building one a separate policy, building two. I can do that, but in a network or in a enterprise, we try to keep the things much minimal. So if I have all 10 buildings, they want to be having a same type of access, then I can group them together. So I say that any person who comes from this group for my map, either wired or wireless, I'm going to allow them. Same with the .1x. If I have any PC, any user who supports .1x, they should be getting authenticated via .1x as well. Okay. Same with the authorization policy. I've done it for both MAB and .1x. So you can see here. So there is a basic authentication which is allowed. So when you open them up, you will see more information about that. Network access authentication passed. So this is my authentication and authorization policy that I do it as my step number 3. Okay. So for my first step was configure AD server. My second step was integrate AD server with Cisco ISE, and I did some testing users. Then my third step was to configure the switch. Configure that network switch with the .1x and MAP. Now I went back to Cisco ISE and did the policy set to allow the .1x and MAP authentication. Now I'll go to users. That is a user PC 1 and user PC 2. And I will enable .1x inside the Windows operating machine. For MAP, you don't need to do anything. By default, MAP will get authenticated. However, for .1x, usually it won't be activated until you go and activate from the control panel. See, now this is a AD managed PC. So once you activate the .1x, you will see this option on the Ethernet adapter. Marketing 1. So it is asking my super user logins. See, now I have to activate the .1x. You can see this one. You know why this is saying this is activated. Now there is one more roadblock. The roadblock is, let's say if you had a 500 user and you want them to make use of .1x. but they are from a non-technical background. They might activate or they may not know how to activate it. Now, what you can do is you can make your Cisco ISE to enforce this policy. So next time when that machine is trying to connect to your network, Cisco ISE is going to do the settings for you automatically. It is going to activate the ISE. It is going to activate the .1x from its side, rather than the user going to control panel, activating .1x, coming over here, giving some ticks and etc., which most of the people will not be able to do it, right? So you can enforce it from the ISE itself. ISE itself will enforce that. That's why you see I don't have any control to do any changes, because I have told in the Cisco ISE, if any AD powered users connects, then enforce this property to him automatically, that along with his username, he must also get authenticated with .1x. Okay, so he's right now activated from Cisco ISE server. Now let us see if he's successfully authenticated or not. So if you check his IP address, it is 100.5. We can also see the MAC address of this machine with the help of get MAC. So this is 9600. You can go to the Cisco ISE now, and under the radius logs, you can check if this machine is successfully logged in and what protocol, whether .1x or MAB was considered. So when you go to radius live logs, so you can you see this 6100? Is that the same MAC address? Let me see here. This is 9600. So let's search for 96. See, 96 is here. Okay, today is what, March 22. You can see the log here, 9600. You can also check the report card, like how was this guy authenticated. So that was my one use case, test report and logging, right? So you can check step by step what happened. So you received a radius server message as a new session from this user called marketing1. It started checking the policy group, selection of policy. EAP is the protocol that is used here. The radius will send challenge, and the request message is going to use the existing connection if there is any existing connection. These are all the radius messages here. And those radius messages are being secured with TLS or SSL packets. Okay, when you scroll down, at a level, the radius will get authenticated. So you can see that now your marketing one was part of the identity source, right? We had a AD users integrated to this. I showed you how I created this group. Then I go next. In the next step, you can see that Active Directory is contacted. You are being checked if this user is present in the AD. So this is all now AD responsibility. ISE has forwarded that to AD, and AD is going to check all those things now. Okay. So the username and password will get authenticated, and then also it has to check whether it will match the .1x or MAB authentications too. So that you can see over here. So can you see that it is being taken care by .1x. .1x authentication passed. This is the authentication profile you created. Basic authentication access, if you remember. You have all the details about what happened behind the scene, which server gave you the needful authentication, which server behind the scene authenticated this request. You also have some tabs here. If you go back here, you can click on, let's say you click on this end host machine, the MAC address. You can also see like which policy of the ICE was rejecting or approving this request. Because as a Cisco ISE administrator, there can be chances when something is not going well. So how do you troubleshoot? How do you come to know which policy is rejecting this request? So you can see here what all time this got activated. Is there any failure reason? Is what identity group uh, gave the clearance for this connection? So this is AD based. AD based in the sense this is already been created under this. I have a user called marketing, and I have made this workstation AD or domain controller based. There is a difference between a workstation working under the domain and the PC which is not working under the domain. If you are under the domain, you don't have to do anything on the PC side. You can enforce the policy on the server side, and they will they will push those policy to you. Like in the case of .1x, I didn't have to do anything, but it automatically got downloaded from my servers. I also have a non-managed PC, non-managed AD servers. Now, in this case, let us see what happens. So if I go to my non-managed AD server, which don't support .1x, I have turned off .1x manually. So you can check here under the property, I have disabled it. I don't want this to be taking up .1x authentication. I want it to be a MAC address based. How do I get the MAC address? You can put get MAC. When you put get MAC, you will get the MAC address of this machine. See, the MAC address is 6100. Now, how the authentication works? It's very simple. As soon as this MAC address trying to hit the network access towards the Cisco ISE, Cisco ISE will now check what it is. It's coming via the MAC address as a username, right? So it will check is there any policy based on MAC address or not. So how do you check it? You can do a manual push for that. How do you do is just disable the interface card, NIC card once, and just enable this. Now, when you enable this, you are basically forcing this to travel to wherever, whichever port. But where it will go directly to Cisco ISE because let's say we have that gateway configured, etc. So it will take it to Cisco ISE here. See, when it's taking down, you will see the logs appearing on the. Let me refresh it. So you have a new logs. You have a logs from 61x, which is a MAC address based. You can open that log on the green symbol, and you can see if it is getting authenticated via .1x or MAB. So now you can see clearly that it's got authenticated with MAB, not with the .1x. And all the remaining things, your radius, username, password, is step by step shown up on this side. So you have a, in this case, the username password will not be impacting because your MAC address is acting as an identity server. Now you might think that how the MAC address is being whitelisted, because in a network I can have 500 devices, network scanners or printer. Should I be doing whitelisting of all this individual 500? No, you don't have to do all 500 manually. There is an option to import those MAC address. To do that, you go to work center Okay, so, 1 second. Administration. You can go to identity management groups, which is under administration. Under the groups, you have a classification like endpoint classification or user identity. So I'll go to endpoint because this is an end machine, and I have created a new group. You can create your own group. Say, for example, in your case, you can say that these are all my network scanners. Okay. And I'll click submit on this. Now I'll go to network scanner and I have an option to add MAC address manually. I can add the MAC address. Let's say I have only one user as of now. So I can see the MAC address that's visible on my log messages. So I let's say if this is the machine, what was that MAC address? It was 6100, right? So let's say 6100 is my MAC address. See, I have added here. This is how we do the MAC whitelisting. But in the production with 500 users with MAC MAB concept is not feasible to add manually. So what you can do in that case is, there is an option to onboard all in a bulk also. So let me show that option as well. So when you go here, network scanner Sagar, add, add, okay, so this is the option to add it manually. Similar way, you can add in a bulk also. So when you do it bulk, you get this template. I'll show you the template. See, this is the template which will be in an Excel format. You can take down all your MAC address, all 500 MAC address, and just straight away upload to this. Okay, so when you upload that, now whichever scanners which is trying to get connected to your network will get automatically authenticated with the help of its MAC address alone. So you don't need username, you don't need password. So that with the help of MAC address, they will get authenticated. Whatever the policies or dynamic VLANs, dynamic ACLs that has to be downloaded will also get downloaded. If you want the scanner to be on VLAN 50, so they all will be belonging to VLAN 50. If you're making any changes on the ICE side, you want them to be VLAN 100. You don't have to do it physically on the switch side now. You can just do it on the Cisco ISE, and that will be getting pushed upon when the MAC when the devices are getting through the MAB authentications. Okay, so let me show you one thing here. So when you go back to live logs,
Sir, I have one small question also.
go ahead.
Like whatever AD is doing, like we saw AAA, we saw the way you said that we can apply the policy of 802.1x on client systems through Cisco ISE. So the same thing is done by AD also. I mean to say, if that server is AD, or you can configure it on Windows Server also as a administrator. So how Cisco ISE is different from software-based security purposes? Like most of the policy we can apply to Windows Server also.
Windows Server will not be giving you granular control. Okay, this MAB and .1x is something that you don't do it on the Win server. It will not even accept that. It is taken care by the policy that you set on the Cisco ISE. It is just that the policy that it got enforced is just the setting on, not to allow or to deny. Just that setting we want on the PC that got downloaded from the server because we activated that option. Otherwise, all the authentications are taken care by the Cisco ISE itself. Later in future, if you want to connect with FTD, you want to connect with DNAT, then your Windows server is not the person who is connecting to them. It is the ISE which is getting connected there. Okay, Win server has very limited support from the user creation perspective only. For all the remaining network security, it is the Cisco ISE which will take care of it.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
And when, sir, you said that granular, so what exactly you mean by that?
Means more visibility.
Okay.
More visibility to the network.
Okay, sir.
In the Win server, you don't have a very good reporting system, right?
Yeah, until unless you have a third-party software on top of that.
Correct, yeah. So whereas in the Cisco ISE, you have all the options in the dashboard itself.
Because recently, Manage Engine, this is a company from India also. So they have a lot of like tools even. So they have more than 30,000. So that's where the true picture comes there. What is happening on server? Otherwise, it's
Correct.
impossible to see.
Yeah. But again, that will have its own limitation. You can't have AAA, you can't have wireless, you can't have BYOD. Manage engine or manage whatever third vendor it is. It's okay for your visibility, but not for configuration purpose. Whereas Cisco ISE will provide you both. It will give you the visibility plus you can configure the things on it.
Sir, but if I'm not wrong, I think so. There are softwares which gives the option of AAA, but it's very limited. It will be definitely limited as
Yeah,
I'm not
but
fully aware. Yeah.
Cisco ISE is not only for AAA. The
Yeah.
AAA, it was supported previously in Cisco ACS server, which was only AAA. But Cisco ISE is not just for AAA purpose. You can integrate it with other uh, products of security or enterprise as well, and have an integration in the networking side in the enterprises.
Yeah, the way you said it, that we can have a dynamic concept also.
Yes, you
VLAN
can.
shouldn't, yeah,
Yes, you
that's
can
a very
integrate.
amazing concept.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
integrate Cisco ISE with vManage. You can integrate Cisco ISE with DNAC controller. You can integrate Cisco ISE with PX Grid, with FMC, FTD. So the scope is more. Whereas you can't achieve this in any third party like Manage Engine or SolarWinds, because they are all reporting tools. They are not a proper NAC tools.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so this is the lab which I had to show what happens with the .1x authentication and how do you see the MAB authentication. We saw the configuration, we saw the configuration, we saw the configuration here. This was automatically downloaded from this. We saw the map, there was no much configuration needed. When the MAC address traveled, it checked the whitelisting was present or not and allowed that part. Okay. So now let me just show you the different modules.
And sir, I have one more question, if you
Yeah,
don't
go
mind,
ahead.
that this Cisco,
Hmm.
is it virtually available also? And if it's available, so the physical device is more capable than virtual device, the way we have in Palo.org.
Physical devices are being stopped right now for ICE. It is now more into the virtual concept only. There used to be server previously which was dedicated for ICE, but nowadays you can put the operating system on any storage devices for the ICE configuration.
And sir, they are available on cloud basis also, or only on
Yeah,
on-premise?
cloud also it is available.
So on premises would be more capable than cloud, as we say in other products, or they are on the same thing? Like,
It is up to the design, whether
Mhm.
you need on-premise or you need the uh, cloud environment. At the end, it is the same thing, same dashboard you get it. Depends on the design and the requirement, how you want to deploy. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Fine. So from the technical topic, I have covered it. Let me give you a bit on the module structure. So as you know, this is a CCI security training 5-in-1 module. That means you will get score, score, SVPN. We saw one lab from Cisco ISE, ASA Firepower, and the CCI boot camp. This is these are the lab topology. So when we are covering the S core, you will get this lab topology. When we go with the Cisco ISE, you will receive this. So when I say you will receive, in the sense you will receive two things: remote lab plus the home lab files, which you can host on your machine, but depends on the hardware capability that you are having it. So Cisco ISE will easily need your laptop with minimum 32 GB of RAM with 16 CPU and 200 GB storage. So if you don't have this, then your laptop can't run it. That's why we are giving you total 1 year of lab access as well, remote lab access. That means you can easily run the lab from your machine, which will be hosted at our data center. So we will give you the credential. You will log into those labs, spin up the nodes. You will be receiving the workbook. So let me show you how the workbook for this looks like. Just a minute. So this is the workbook. I'm showing for the Cisco ISE first. Similar way, all the different module workbooks would be shared with you. So let's say today's lab that we did, it's one of the lab from Cisco ISE module. Let's say this is the .1x. And the second thing we did was MAB, which is over here. Okay, so you can follow the lab step-by-step instructions to the Cisco ISE configuration. Okay, and all the CLI commands for the validation and packet captures and all other things. If you go here, I think I didn't show you that part. So if you know in the exams, you need to do the validation. So you should know the commands behind it. So if you have show map session, you can see these are enabled on both the interfaces. You can also see the authentications sessions. See, one of the interface got authenticated via .1x, and the second interface was authenticated via MAP. So if there is any issues with the authentication, then you will receive logs in the first place itself. In the switch side itself, you'll get issues like credentials not working or got rejected, right? So the different things you can check from the switch end as well. So you should know the validation step. Same with the Cisco ISE as well. You should know how to validate, going to the dashboard, what options to check to make sure the logs are visible, what happens. So all that thing, you should know the validation. So this is how the lab workbook is given. So this is for Cisco ISE, this is for Cisco S-Core paper, all the topics. Then SVPN, then ESA, WSA, and the bootcamp. Okay, and where was I? Yeah, these are the different labs that you will receive part of this. These are the blueprint topic that we will be covering part of each module. As I told you, it's a 6 month, 5 to 6 month. We go one by one. So first we take S core, then we go to ASA/FTD, then Cisco ISE, then the ESA WSA, and then the boot camp. So that is the flow. We can't take all the things on a single day. We have to go one by one module, right? So that is these are the module that's listed here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll put this link in the chat so you can also check it out. These are the information 24/7 lab access, 1 year of remote access. Recording will be lifetime. Workbook is downloadable. You can download the workbook.
Sir, what is the total fee of
Sorry,
CCIE exam? Like,
sorry, come again.
what is the total fee of exam when you are
The
appearing?
fee structure, I'll be giving it to my sales executive after my technical demonstration. So he will present you with the pricing and all the other part. So there are some discount and there is some offer. So he will let you know about it.
No, sir, the exam fee. I mean to say when you are going for an exam, for real exam. So what is the
Exam fees depends as per your what you say, the transaction conversion, currency conversion. So you can check the CCI price in USD. It is 2000. Later, it depends how much it costs you while you make use of your credit card.
Okay.
Again, as I told you, not everyone looks for the rank. Some people takes it for upskillment, knowledge upskillment. Some takes it for rank. Some gets it reimbursed from the company as well. Some gets the voucher 50% off. So it all depends, okay? Like how much you pay for the final exam. All right, so that's all from my technical presentation. All right, so I'll pass it on to my sales executive. So anyone got any technical question from anything that we discussed from Cisco ISE or any module, you can let me know. If you're good, you're interested to check out the pricing and the enrollment process, then I'll pass it on to the sales executive. Okay, so if there is no technical question, Sajid, are you in the call?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, so I'll make you host. You can share the slide.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Myself, Sajid. I'm a student relationship manager and the counselor. So I am here to give you all the details regarding the course, what all materials you'll be getting. So every details I'll be going to give you here in this 15 minutes of my session. Okay. So firstly, let me start with my first slide. So here, as you can see, so you'll be getting to know about like what all course syllabus and class schedule is there. So here we are going to discuss about this CCIE Security version 6.1 training. Okay, as you know, like our trainer Sagar sir has taken the session on the Cisco ISE. Okay, so we are starting this CCIE security batch from the Cisco ISE module. So after this, there will be the escort. Uh, and then after this, there will be the SVPN. Then after this, there will be the Cisco ASA FTD. Then after this, there will be the ESA. Then after this WSA, then at the end there will be the CCIE Security Boot Camp. Okay, and this is eligible for both the candidates like who is looking for CCNP, is looking for the CCNP security. They'll be going for Cisco ISE and ESCO. Okay, so once we start the Cisco ISE module, so you and CCIE security candidates and CCNP security candidates will be attending the classes through in merge. And once the like Cisco ISE and Cisco ESCO will be completed, so rest CCIE security candidates will be continuing for SVPN, Cisco ISE firewall, then remaining modules. Okay. So this will be the course like modules which will be going to cover in the CCIE security. And towards the most highlight and most perspective, our trainer Sagar sir has explained you guys in the session. Okay, I hope you got all the details regarding your course curriculum and course module towards the CCIE security version 6.1 training. Okay. So here related to the class schedule. So this will be going to be a weekend batch, Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. IST to 12 p.m. IST. The duration of the session will be 2.5 to 3 hours of session. So this will be on every weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And the duration of the course will be 6 months. Okay. So overall, it will take half an hour, 1 month more or less. So round off, we have counted it as 6 months minimum it will take to complete this total track. Okay. And this will be only a Saturday and Sunday session, only on weekends. The timings will be 9 a.m. IST to 12 p.m. IST, 2.5 to 3 hours of session. Okay. So let me move towards the next slide. So as you can see here, so you'll be getting to know about the what all access and materials you'll be getting once you are going to enroll for this course. Okay, so access what we are providing is like, let's say once you are going to enroll for this course, so you'll be getting the lifetime recording access of your classes, which you will be attending through the Zoom meeting. The classes will be recorded in the cloud and that will be uploaded from the backend to our LMS, so our web portal. From there, you can access your class recordings for lifetime access. Once the class is done, so the recordings will be uploaded in meantime of 30 to 1 hour, 30 minutes to 1 hour. So after that, whenever you want, you can access the recordings. Like if in case if you missed out any session due to your personal commitments or some urgency or any reason it may be. So once like let's say if you missed out, you can view the recording after 1 hour. So whenever you are have the time and whenever you are visible, you can attend and you can just keep in track for the next coming class. So if in case if you have any doubts, you can ask the doubts to the trainer Sagar sir in the next session related to the class which you have missed out. Okay. And secondly, like we'll be providing you the 24/7 unlimited lab access. Okay, for those who are going to take only dedicated module, like let's say for Cisco ISE, you are going to enroll. So you'll be getting the 3 months of dedicated lab access that you can access it totally 24/7 unlimited. Whenever you want, you can access the labs. And those who are enrolling for total CCIE security track, so they'll be getting the total 1 year of remote lab access that you can access it totally remotely, 24/7 unlimited. Whenever you want, you can access the labs which are present on our servers and cloud servers. Okay. And we'll be providing you the dedicated materials like workbooks, PPTs, PDFs, step-by-step lab manuals. All the materials we'll be providing you that you can download and you can keep it with you as well. And the G drive access remains with you for lifetime. If in case if you missed out or like the material got deleted or formatted or something, you can re-download it once again from the your course. There you'll be having the links to download your material, so that can be accessible for rest of the like lifetime access for the whenever you want, you can download it once again. Okay. And let's say if you have the good configuration of your system, then we'll be helping you to set up a home lab, so that like once you are done with your remote lab access, further you can practice on your personal laptop, and that will also remains with you for lifetime access. um, like once you are done with your remote lab access for 3 months or 1 year, so that will be feasible or easy to access on your laptop. So the your laptop should meet the required configuration. So the minimum required configuration is 32 GB of RAM, and somewhere 12 to 16 core of CPU, and around 100 GB of storage is sufficient. Okay, these are very like heavy resource consuming labs, so minimum requirements are this. And let's say if you don't have much resource, or like much resource on your laptops, or on your personal laptop, anything it may be, like in that case we will be providing you the like monthly base of lab rentals too, so you can practice the labs, and you can avail the feasibility of your labs without interruption. Okay, so once you are done with it, you can just connect with our team and us, so we'll be guiding you accordingly for further lab practicing. Okay, and we'll be providing you the 24 into 7 backend support from our network journey team. If you are facing any issues, any queries regarding to the course, or regarding to the portal, or regarding to the lab, anything it may be, you just need to raise a ticket on our support DL. One of our team member will connect with you, and we will resolve your issues accordingly in meantime. Okay, and this like let's say if you have any problem related to you are not able to resolve anything related to your production or something, so you can also raise a ticket, and we have our team, they'll be assisting you to how you can resolve the problems, so how you can resolve your queries. So we are all the way available to support you guys in any queries. Whatever we can do, we can help you out to resolve your every queries. Okay. Let me move towards the next slide.